time. If you suffer from dry skin or fine lines and wrinkles, then this is probably something you really want to keep on watching. Okay, let's get started. I've just moisturised with some Cetaphil lotion. This is just drugstore. It's very light, almost like a serum, but will just soak in really, really quickly. And after that, just put on some of the Hourglass mineral veil and put on whatever you like. Any primer just to give yourself a little bit more of a barrier between the powders that we're going to put down and the foundation. If you've got a thicker moisturizer that acts really well as a primer or works really well as a primer, then that's fine too. As far as foundations go, so you're looking for words like velvet, silk, glow, glossy, all those sorts of words. Stay away as much as you can from mattes, although some of the matte foundations are okay. I have the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation and I don't have a problem with that one. You just have to trial and error, get to know what sort of foundations go best on your skin. Today I'm going to use Luminous Silk by Giorgio Armani. The reason I'm not applying it with a brush is because if I try and apply this with a brush on dry skin, you risk basically going over texture and making texture pull up more on your face. If you've got actual patches of dry skin and you're going over your skin with a brush, you could lift those patches because you've really got to buff the foundation in with a brush. The best way to do it, if you do have dry skin, is just to use a sponge or even easier, your fingers, and just apply as much product as you can that way. Even if you want to use your fingers to get the product on fast and then go over with a sponge just to even out the coverage and really work it in, that's a great way to do it as well. So this is a really light, almost like serum-y type foundation. This is in the colour 2. The idea of a foundation is actually bring your skin back to one colour all over. Then that's why we then go in with our concealers and bronzers and contouring to add that colour back in there. And I'm tapping, I'm not rubbing. The more cream products you can put on, the better. You want to try and be using more cream bronzers, more cream contours, things like that as opposed to powder. For contour today, I'm actually going to use the Trini, and this is Kate. It's quite a cool brown colour, as you'll see. So contouring colours usually will be a little bit cooler. Bronzing colours are usually going to come up a little bit redder or more orange in tone because the contour is supposed to be creating a shadow. Typically shadows would look like cooler colours. So we're mimicking that by putting the cooler tone there. And at the very edge of my eyebrow, I'm just going to flick some up like this. Just like that. I'm going to do it on each side. This is just going to help create a really good lifted look for our eyes. I'm going to rub it in because you don't want it that noticeable. You just want to gently rub over it a little bit and leave like the tiniest suggestion that it's there. That's it. And then you want to move into your forehead. The more room you have on your forehead, the lower down you can come. Make sure you take it all the way back into your hairline so it looks as natural as possible. And then for the nose, again, if you've got dry skin, you're not going to want to be doing a lot of contouring on your nose with powder because that's going to create texture. So the best way to get around contouring is to actually contour your nose with a cream. I'm very, very gently running that down the side of my nose. I'm hardly applying any pressure at all. I'm just using what was left on there. And then just at the tip. And you can put a little bit under your lips if you like. Put a little bit on each side of your jaw, just to bring your jaw a bit more forward. Then you want to go under that jawline and all the way from behind the ear and back down. And I have got enough on the sponge to do this because I'm going to use powder on top of it anyway. So I want to start from the back of the ear and just right along that jawbone. I want to just blend it in. The thing you're going to want to do is a little bit of blush. I'm going to use the new Too Faced. This is Peach Bloom Lip and Cheek Tint from Too Faced. I'm going to put on the back of my hand to start with because I don't know what sort of consistency it is. It looks very, very light. I'm just going to use my finger. I'm just going to run it down. And I will go over this with some blush. I think if you put some blush on your face under some powder blush, I think you really do get a better result. Just helps them both last a lot longer because I find it the best thing to wear off my face is my blush. So if I don't put it down in the form of a liquid, I pretty much can't rely on that. I'm going to match to the side and I'm actually working upwards. You can see how I'm working just on the top of my cheekbone there. Taking it sort of over to the apple of my cheek but not too far. It's a lot more hygienic for you to put your products on the back of your hand and work off the back of your hand or even onto another palette or something like that, especially if you've got any skin allergies or acne and things like that, because you're just transferring bacteria from your product to your face to your product, and it's gonna make it really hard for that bacteria to go away. Even if you work on it and you get rid of it, if you've still got it on in your products, it's just gonna keep coming back. I might put a little bit of this on the lips, and again I'm just gonna use my finger here just to hydrate them while we're doing our face. I haven't used this before, so I'm not sure how it goes, how long it lasts. Hey look, if you've got a cold sore or something like that, don't use the applicator with a product like this. Putting a product like this straight onto your face, if you've got acne or any sort of irritation there, could contaminate the product. Then you're putting it on your lips and it's just all going to get really dirty. I guess that's the sort of point I was trying to make. So for concealer, I'm just going to go in with a little bit. I'm going to come from under here where I get the darkness on the inside of my eye. Just a dot there, because you don't need much. And then I'm just going to take some here as well. Moving on to our eyebrows. I'm going to use the Revlon Color Stay Brow Fiber just to put them in place, set them in place to start with, and then I might use a bit of a pencil to fill in any blank. My eyebrows are done. I always like to powder because I find that my makeup will just wear off so fast if I don't, but if you don't like to powder, then obviously skip this. And this is the By Terry Hyaluronic Powder. I'm going to start under my eyes and down my nose. Very fine. It's not a heavy powder. If cake face bothers you or you worry about that, then this might be one that you might want to try. Seal everything in. You'll be able to see how the concealer has already started to pull in my eyes. What I'm doing is taking my beauty blender with nothing else on it and just working that back in again before I set it. By the time you get to the powder you've developed any under eye creasing, go back in and just smooth it back out before you go in and powder. A few lifelines, go back in, work it back down, and then set it again. This won't stop my eyes from creasing because it's just not enough for me. I need an eyeshadow base color to stop that concealer from building back up again. If you could get away with just putting on a powder and not a shadow to seal, then more power to you. This is the It Cosmetics Fantastic Sized palette. First thing I'm going to do is go into the bronzer. I'm just going to tap it on, and you want to tap it in. You want to bring it up to the temple and then around a little bit more blush. Again, I'm just tapping that on top of what I already have. And finally, some highlighter, which is here. This is a really nice highlighter, very natural looking. I'm just going to gently put that on high points of my cheeks. I'm not taking it too far down. I'm trying to keep that lifted look. I'm going to put some on the other side of my eyebrow, on each side there. You can see the foundation has left quite a luminous look anyway, because that powder is so light that we've put on. I'm going to do the bridge of my nose. I'm just going to put some just before the tip. Give my nose the illusion it's a bit shorter than it is. On the Cupid's bow. Before we go on to the eyes, so first thing we want to do is set our face, because we want to add some hydration back now that we've put powder down. So I'm going to go and do that now. You don't want to drench your face, but one spray is not enough either. Probably going across if you're not sure how much to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a slightly heavier face powder. And this is a Compact Cover FX. This is in the colour Light. It's a really, really nice formula. I'm going to take that under my eyes, down the side of my nose, across my upper lip and my chin, to give that inside of my face, around my features, a bit more of a glow. And it actually looks really good. I'm not going over that highlight. I'm sticking close to the bottom of my lips. If you've had any more settling of any product into any smile lines down here, what you want to do is puff your cheek out and go over it again with the powder, but you're pressing it in, you're not rubbing. Like that. Same thing under the nose, where your makeup comes off under your nose or around your nose. You're tapping it in. I'm not taking it high enough to affect the contour that we did. Just taking it literally the bottom corner of my nose up to my inner eye. And then under the eye again, I'm going to fold my sponge in half, put your finger inside it, dap into your product like that. What you're going to do is start from the inner corner and tap outwards and just press. And that way you will press out any lines for the very last time, hopefully. I've got some of the By Me makeup bags. It's a really nice brown in here. This is called Espresso. And that's called Penny Caramel. The type of brush I want is not too fluffy. What I want to do is pack on some colour just on my eyelid, then blend it out, and then finally a stick eyeshadow across to lighten up the inner, probably half of my eye. Before I do that though, I need to get a skin coloured shadow to set those eyes, to give the eyeshadow, this one, something really good to hold on to and stop any creasing. Just go into my MAC. This is in Burlee. This is just a very neutral colour, so I'm just going to take that and cover my entire lid with it, and taking it really high right up to the lash line, right up to where your eyebrows begin. Okay, so now I've got my brown, and I'm going to put this all over my eyelid, but I'm not going to take it past my crease. Blending brush, and all I'm going to do is start at the inner corner, go across and blend out that brown along the edges. I'm going to bring it up probably almost just below my eyebrows. I'm going to use this colour here, which is in the tea tones, Virtue and Fortune, and it's just a really nice neutral sparkly colour. I'm going to put that just on the insides, going up to the crease, and I'm just going to work, I'm patting that in. I'm just going to run that along the eye like that. I'm just going to go into, this is the Tarte Decay palette volume 2. I'm just going to go into this highlighter here, and I'm just going to put that on top of that cream shadow, and that will just really make it pop even more. And you can see how that's just lifted that heaps more. I'm just tapping it on. And I'll just go under the eyebrow here with this as well. Do a little bit more to your cupid's bow. Just put on some mascara. All I'm going to do is go over our lips with what we've already got on them. This is just the Fenty Cream MAUVEWIVES. Everything I use is listed in the description below, so if you're wondering about shades or names, just have a look there, and if there's anything in particular that you wanted to know or you would like me to show you, just leave me a message. Okay, thanks so much. Bye bye.